The following program, live from Rio +20, has been made possible by Foundation Earth, rethinking society from the ground up.
I just want to give you a little background. We became friends in 1988 when David, my husband, went to the Amazon to do a 2-hour special for the CBC. And at that time we made the connection and we worked with them ever since, and we're successful with them and working in there. And the Indigenous efforts to stop the Cararao Dam in 1989. So the format of the press conference will be, there will be 4 speakers, and I will introduce them one at a time. They'll each speak for 2 minutes, and then we'll give them a chance to respond to each other, and then we'll take Q&A, okay? So our first speaker today is cullis-suzuki.
Well, hello everyone. My name is cullis-suzuki, and I have been here for the last week as an echo to being here at the Echo 92 in Rio at the First Earth Summit. I was 12 years old, and I was speaking as a child, representing future generations and those who have no voice at these negotiations. I just want to say that I'm honored by the presence of the next generation. We have here an important group of young people. They are 9, 11, and 12, and they're from Canada and the United States. And it is amazing seeing them because I'm reminded of myself so long ago. But there is another story, and that is the story of our connection to the Amazon rainforest. When I was 9 years old, my family took me and my little sister to the home of Payakan and Mayal, which is in the state of Para, on a tributary off the Xingu River. And this trip to the Amazon when I was 9 years old, living for 2 weeks in a Kayapo village in the forest, changed my life. This is the reason why when I came back to Canada after being in the forest and after seeing the destruction, the burning of the forest around, this is why I started a small club with my friends when I was 9 years old. We had to do something. We started ECHO, the Environmental Children's Organization, and after doing small local projects in our own home in Canada, we heard about the Earth Summit. It was to be the largest gathering of heads of state ever held, and they were going to talk about environment and development. We decided we wanted to talk as those with everything at stake. We wanted to be the conscience of the decision makers. And incredibly, we were able to achieve our dream. And I spoke to those world leaders when I was 12. 20 years has passed. The world is experiencing a crisis in our ecological systems. We need more than just promises and declarations. We need action. 20 years later, the Kayapo people are still struggling to fight against destruction of their homeland. And so this is why I'm very honored to be joining my friends once again here and try to be with them in solidarity as they face their struggle, in particular here to the Belo Monte Dam. Thank you.
Thank you, Seven. Now our next speaker is Mayal Payakan Kayapo.
Bom, meu nome é Mayal, sou de etnia Kayapó, que fica localizado sul do Pará. Estamos aqui. Eu e meus pais, as minhas famílias tradicional, estamos aqui contra essa devastação, essa destruição toda que está acontecendo hoje no mundo inteiro.
Okay, she said she's from the Kayapo family. She's from the Kayapo family, and she's very glad to be here together with her father to tell you a little bit about what is happening and to try fighting against it.
Estamos aqui todos pela mesma causa.
We are all here for the same cause,
que é a preservação do meio ambiente, a
Which is-
preservação do nosso habitat natural.
which is the preservation of the environment, of our natural habitat.
Então, isso não pode ficar só no papel, a gente tem que concretizar isso.
This cannot stay only on paper, we have to make it reality.
Precisamos levar o bem-estar para nossos parentes, nossos avós que estão habitados na aldeia.
We have to guarantee that our family, our grandparents have a good living.
Então precisamos conscientizar a todos a preservação da natureza.
We have to bring conscience to everybody about preserving the forest.
Bom, só isso.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is David Suzuki.
So I'm delighted to be here and see Payakan after so many years. I met Payakan in 1988 when we did a film, and he appealed for help at that time to fight the dam that was going to be built at Altamira called Cararau. And Tara and I were able to help them, and Payakan led a demonstration against the dam and persuaded the World Bank to pull its loan from that dam, and we won a great victory at that point. Now we come back. At that time, the issue was social justice. The indigenous people were of the forest. The forest was theirs. And we felt that the government had no right to flood their lands, especially without even telling them. There was a social rights issue, and there was also an ecological issue that the Amazon rainforest represents such a great ecosystem for the whole world. But something fundamental has happened as the planet has been degraded continuously over the last 20 years. We are now at a complete tipping point in terms of the ability of the biosphere to support us and to regenerate itself as it has for so many millennia. Now, there is a social justice issue as Belo, the same dam we fought and defeated 30 years ago. Belo is now again back with us, and the issues of social justice as well as the ecological destruction of the Amazon are raised. But now we face a real crisis because as we try to look to a sustainable future, we have no way of knowing how to build a sustainable future. The only group, as Gro Harlan Brundtland said in 1987, the only group that has a proven track record of living in a sustainable way are indigenous people around the planet. So there's another issue, that protection of the homelands of these indigenous people, I believe, is the only way we in the dominant societies can find how people manage to live in a sustainable way for such a long period of time.
Thank you, David. And now our fourth speaker is Paulinho Payakan, Beporoti Payakan.
Bom, na tradição, meu nome é Beporoti e outro apelido reconhecido na tradição é o Payakan. E o apelido também, nome de branco, é o Paulinho. Eu sou cacique, eu sou líder, eu sou guerreiro, eu sou caiapó. Eu vivo na minha reservas, na minha terra, o estado do Pará.
I am known as Payakan. In modern society, people call me Paulinho. I am chief of my indigenous family. I am a warrior and I fight for my forest.
Na minha adolescência, na minha juventude, melhor dizer assim, na minha juventude comecei a visitar a cidade próxima da nossa reserva, comecei a ver a tanta destruição que estava aproximando nós. Primeira minha saída para a cidade, comecei a me preocupar.
In my youth, I started visiting the cities near where I lived, and I started noticing the destruction, and I started worrying.
E aonde eu comecei a pensar de lutar pelo nossa terra, e conseguir a demarcação, a terra Caiapó, e que fica no estado do Pará.
So I started fighting to to delimit our forest, and this was successful. Today we have the Kayapó area.
E então, quando a gente vivia tranquilo, sem saber se o governo já estava realizando um projeto, primeiro projeto que estava sendo ameaçado, e o projeto chamava de Cararaú.
We lived in peace, but without knowing that the government was already planning a project, and this project was called Cararó Project.
E então, meu amigo que visitou a minha aldeia e me deu apoio, que eu podia lutar pela a preservação da nossa área Kayapó contra a construção de barragem chamava Cararaú.
So David, my friend, visited me, and he gave me hope that we could fight against the construction of this dam, that we could fight for the preservation of the Cararó area.
E nós tivemos um grande sucesso de amigo e que nós conseguimos de paralisar. Então, quando estava paralisado esse projeto, era um momento que todo mundo ia pensar de acabar com esse projeto.
We had great success. The project was paralyzed, and then we thought that this would be it.
Mas ninguém pensou nisso. Estudo, a pesquisa continua. E hoje foi realizado, o governo realizou, tirou o nome Cararaú e batizou de Belo Monte, né? E Belo Monte já tendo construído.
But what we didn't know is that the project only changed name, but it continued. And today it is called Belo Monte. This dam is being built in the Amazon forest at the moment.
Mas eles estão planejando de construir reservatório que chamam Babaquara, outro nome indígena, nome assurini, Babaquara.
But they are also planning to build other dams along the river. One of them is Babaquara. This is an indigenous name that they have chosen for the project.
E esse reservatório está totalmente ameaçando de inundação da terra Kayapó.
If this water reserve is actually built, it will inundate all Kayapó area.
E eu, como lutador pela defesa de direito nós índios e de meio ambiente, eu voltei a assumir essa luta para que não faça a construção de reservatório que chama Babaquara.
So this is why I am here. I want to fight against this project. It cannot be built Babaquara because it will destroy our land.
Eu quero pedir apoio das pessoas que ouvem, as pessoas que vão entender, nos apoia, que nós queremos o bem para o nosso país, não para o povo Kayapó, mas para o bem do nosso país, é que nós queremos preservar nossa área, nosso meio ambiente.
So I want to ask your help. It is not only for my people, for the Kayapó region, but it is also for all humanity, because we are fighting for environment, for preservation of our forests and our nature.
Então, essa é a minha declaração, a minha informação para o povo, para vocês, para as pessoas escutar, né, que estamos juntos de novo e que vamos ajudar, lutar pelo meio ambiente.
So this is my declaration. This is what I want to inform you, that we will together fight again to preserve environment.
É muito triste de ver uma árvore, natureza que não tem pé, que não anda, homem chegar e derrubar, homem chegar e destruir, que não corre, está com medo, mas não corre, não fala. Isso não, a gente tem que ver isso, né?
He says it is very sad to see the logging of trees which cannot run away, which cannot defend themselves. They, as indigenous people, feel very sorry for these trees.
E nós somos ser humano, tem que somos não ser humano, ser humano educado, entendido, compreendido, para que nós podemos respeitar a nossa natureza. É isso que eu quero dizer. Muito obrigado.
We are human beings, we can understand it, we can comprehend it, so we must fight for its preservation. This is what I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you for those eloquent words. I want to know if, I don't think we'll have a second round, we'll just go to Q&A right away because the light is fading. So are there any questions?
I'll ask you a question, Joaquin. If you ever had a chance to speak with policymakers or world leaders, what would you like to say?
Se o senhor tivesse a oportunidade de falar com chefes de Estado, o que o senhor diria?
Eu diria para ele que ele escuta como um ser humano, gente.
I would tell him to listen as a human being, as a person.
E respeitar e escutar.
And respect and hear.
E que nós sentimos das ameaças para ele entender e respeitar. Isso que eu queria pedir para ele.
So he would ask him to listen, to hear what we have to say, so we can together protect it.
So you think they're not listening to you?
O senhor acredita que eles não estão escutando o senhor?
Verdade.
Repetir a pergunta.
Ele não governo, homem que tem dinheiro, que tem o poder de dinheiro, ele não escuta ninguém, não escuta nós índios, não escuta a minoria. É isso que acontece.
Not only heads of state, anyone who has money doesn't listen to us, doesn't listen to who is right, who has the right.
Okay, thank you.
There was a question here.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question to Ms. Suzuki. Like, you were here 20 years ago. I know that you have made some comments about that, but what did you think about this round of meetings? What do you think of this Rio Plus 20 summit? Do you think that the results that they wanted to achieve were achieved this time around?
Well, 20 years ago, we had declarations that came out of the 1992 Earth Summit that by today's standards look like visionary documents. That look like amazing pieces of negotiation and solidarity compared to what we are seeing now. So we've moved backwards in terms of the political will. Meanwhile, we're 20 years farther into a world of climate change. We're 20 years along destroying the Amazon rainforest. I think we're talking about a crisis of governance. We see a real breakdown in the goals, the challenges that we're facing, and the response of our world leaders to dealing with these problems. We really have to deal with climate change, and the reality is that Brazil, having the Amazon, which everyone knows is the lungs of the entire planet, this should be something that the whole world is talking about preserving, because we are desperate for carbon sinks, because we are desperate to stop deforestation and land erosion. And these issues are happening right here, not too far away in this very country. So, you know, I mean, we really have to look at what is actually unfolding, and we can't let the championing of a declaration that doesn't have any teeth be the real story that comes out of Rio. The real story out of Rio is we have a crisis in governance.
You in the back.
Who has done a study of the carbon emissions of big dams and showed that actually power produced by big dams, after all the vegetation was cut, produces more carbon than coal-fired power plants.
Wow. No. But
You can believe it, yeah?
it doesn't surprise me. We do everything for very short-term gains. And we do this over and over again. And the environment must be set aside as an impediment. And it's a failure to understand that what allows us to live are all of the areas of wilderness around the planet. And we've replaced it with this human-created thing called the economy. It's suicidal.
I have a question for him. I was wondering if there's a way we can help in the USA to help with the forests.
Que bom, é prazer
It is a pleasure to
escutar,
hear you.
né? É seu futuro.
It is
Vamos
your
preparar
future.
seu futuro.
Let's prepare your future.
Hoje somos nós, amanhã é vocês.
Today it's us, tomorrow it will be you.
A sua pergunta me emociona.
Your question touches him.
Se nós de hoje não fazer nada por vocês, futuramente o que vocês são?
If we today make nothing for you, what will be your future?
A sua pergunta válida.
This is a valid question. Your question
É prazer que
is our future.
seu país, América, ajuda nós.
It would be a pleasure if your country would help us.
Obrigado.
Thank you.
I have a question for whoever's up to answering it. And I'm just curious to see, what do you think is going to change something if these governments who are so busy bickering amongst themselves that they can't change them? What do you think it's going to take to, end this climate and environmental crisis?
O que precisa fazer para mudar, né, é a consciência, é o diálogo.
What has to be done to promote change is consciousness and dialogue.
Só assim nós podemos evitar, não acabar, é evitar essas grandes confuso que todos nós estamos.
Just like that, we can deter the great confusion in which we are today.
É isso que eu quero dizer.
This is what I have to say.
We can all see that it is young people that can ask the most difficult questions, and I think your question is the most hard question that all of us here at Rio are trying to figure out is what are we going to do? And I just want to say to young people that 20 years ago, a 12-year-old gave a speech to the delegates of the world, and we are still talking about it today. Why? I think it's because the world is hungry for this voice that speaks the truth, that speaks the truth about what we are doing to our air, our water, our land. I mean, sounds so simple, but it's the simplicity, the clarity, and the truth of what is really happening that the world needs to hear. And no one can say this better than children, than young people who have their whole adult lives ahead of them, who are inheriting all of these problems that we have created. And we need to hear that voice more and more. I believe it moves people. I believe it more than ever 20 years later because of the response people still have to me. I'm much, much older. I'm a very different person, and yet people react so strongly because it was a child speaking truth to power. And we need that voice more. We need all young people to take this on and to challenge the adults of the world to raise their consciousness, like Payakan says, and to make this appeal. Speak the truth. What are we doing to our future?
Well, I'd like to add to that. We've never had a situation where we have to respond as a single species. We've always been local tribal animals and just responded to things as a local tribal animal. But now we have to look at the collective impact of all 7 billion human beings on the planet. We've never done this before. The only time when we respond that way is in science fiction movies, when there's a space invader from some other galaxy come and starts killing human beings at random. Well, the President of the United States is calling the President of Russia, calling China. We act as a single species. The problem now is the species that's invading us is us. And we come together at a meeting like this. I don't know how many nations came here, 192 nations, all looking at the world through the boundaries they draw around their countries. I'm a Canadian, you're a Trinidadian, and we're all looking at it that way. But nature doesn't care about human boundaries. There's no Canadian air or Trinidadian or Brazilian air. It's one system. Water circulates regardless of where it goes past human boundaries, and animals and plants move where they will without regard to human boundaries. But we live and fight and die to protect human boundaries, which mean nothing. So we've got to abandon them. The other thing is that we create things like capitalism, like an economy, like a market. And boy, do we fall down and worship The market, free the market. We invented it. It's not some force of nature. We invented it. And if it's not working, that we can change. You can't change nature, but you can change the things that we create. And yet my representative from Canada comes here and asks nature to fit our economic demands. And that's why these kinds of processes will never work unless we leave our national borders and leave our human creations outside the door and say, what do we all agree are our most fundamental needs as human beings? Well, to me, it's air, water, soil, biodiversity is what keeps us alive. And we've got to rebuild the way that we interact with that world. But if we keep doing it through human needs first, I mean our boundaries and our economies, we won't do it.
We are changing the world. Each of us change the world every day for positive and of course also for negative. You know, there was a lot of hope going into this summit, but there was also a lot of reality as well. And we knew from looking at the Earth Summit Plus 10 in Johannesburg that the process was already slipping backward, that the global high-level will on environmental issues was slipping backward. And so I don't think any of us really were very surprised that the declaration that's coming out tonight is less powerful than what came out 20 years ago. We knew that coming into this. What is inspiring me is the level of dialogue of the civil society and the engagement of our young people. I mean, the huge difference between now and 1992 is we have access to information like never before. The access and the democratization of communication. These are incredible tools, and they are tools that just come to young people so naturally. It is a generational shift. And so we're really looking at a big change that is about to happen. This next few years, we are going to see the internet having to deal with issues of governance and how you promote the good ideas from humanity, how we sort through all of the solutions and how we deal with the problems that it raises as well. And this is a huge empowerment tool for the younger generation. This is how I can be connected to Mayal, who is at law school near the Amazon rainforest. I mean, this communication, this partnership that youth can have truly makes them a global generation. And this, I believe, is truly helpful because through this medium, we can finally have a vision for our entire world.
Okay, thank you, Severin. Now I'm going to call that into this press conference, but perhaps if you want to talk to individuals, we could move over to the lighted area, just right by building 3 there. And there might be some individual questions. Now, Frank, do you have an email address that people would be able to get more information from?
That if people would like to speak with Ayakan, David, Severin.
Where in any of this deliberation is nature? Nature is just regarded as a resource, a commodity that we have to manage properly. It just can't work. That's why the indigenous perspective is so important. Indigenous people call the earth our mother. And they mean it literally because we're created out of the very elements of the planet. And you sure don't treat your mother, your biological mother, the way we're treating Mother Earth.
The preceding program, live from Rio Plus 20, has been made possible by Foundation Earth, rethinking society from the ground up.